Premium Tasmanian estate wines. Some very tasty drinking here, courtesy of the panoramicwines.com.au website that we're going to talk about today as an expert website review. Hi, I'm Scott Fox from clickmillionaires.com. Today we're doing an expert website review for my friend Michael down in Tasmania, south of Australia. It's great to hear from you, Michael. Nice to know that the Scott Fox message is reaching all the way down under. Today we're going to look at your website because you emailed me and asked for some help designing or upgrading your site to attract more customers, increase your sales conversions, and make a little more money online. Well, that's what we do at expertwebsitereviews.com, so thank you for ordering this website review. Let's look at your website and see what we can do to tune it up a little to increase your sales. You asked me in particular to look at the search engine optimization opportunities and make suggestions for improvement. So looking here at Premium Tasmanian Estate Wines at panoramawines.com.au. This is your landing page. So right off the bat, I have two questions for you. Well, three, I guess six. I mean, I have a whole bunch. That's what we do here in these expert website reviews. But let's start. Let's start with the domain name. There's a strategic question throughout your website as to who are you targeting. Who are you targeting? Who is your target customer? And the reason I ask this is because I've spent a lot of time in Australia, although I've never had the luck of getting down all the way to Tasmania. But if you're targeting U.S. visitors, they've never heard of Tasmania. I mean, most folks have no idea. Frankly, the only connection with Tasmania that most Americans have is a Warner Brothers cartoon character called the Tasmanian Devil. Now, you're familiar with that animal that lives, I guess, in Tasmania, but in the States, that's the only thing, and it sounds like a made-up thing. So if you are going to be about being from Tasmania, you're going to need to explain where Tasmania is, because honestly, a lot of American visitors might think that this was some sort of put-on, a joke. Now, I'm not trying to offend you, but that's a fact. Tasmania is so far away from the United States. And perhaps this is true for Brits or Europeans as well. I don't know. I can't speak as well for that. But the whole idea of Tasmanian wines is a little bit, it sounds humorous, honestly. And it's clearly not humorous for you because you have a very nice website and what look like some delicious wines. So, okay, so what does that mean in terms of tactics? Well, first of all, your URL, panoramawines.com.au. .au is a very rare suffix, an extension on a domain name, at least again for American users. If your market is just for Australians, then this is all irrelevant. But if you're trying to target outside of Australia, certainly into the United States or Europe, that .au is just going to hurt you. So how about panoramawines.com? I would guess that's open, or some variation of that ends in .com. Everybody in the world is used to visiting .com domains, and that could really help your branding right away and probably help increase the amount of traffic to your website and maybe even your search engine ranking. Okay, second, we have this very pretty, I like the design of your site a lot. You asked me for template suggestions and so forth. I think the design is actually very attractive and appropriate for a vineyard, so I'm not going to pick on that too much. But I will pick on this. If you're worried about search engine optimization, you don't want to put in this splash page. This landing page is a very nice welcome. It's very pretty, but all it does is delay the entry to here. This is really your home page, and that's okay. The other one is prettier, absolutely. But the only way you get in is this little enter the vineyard button, and there isn't anything a person can do other than click on that enter the vineyard button, or maybe look at the webcam over here, which was broken when I tried it earlier. Now, the other reason that this is really a big problem is because you asked about search engine optimization. Well, a page like this, it really blocks the search engine spiders. This is hurting your search engine traffic because this forces the search engine spider to take a whole nother step through and essentially click on this button to find the real website you have. As far as website splash pages go, this is not a bad one. You actually have some text on here that the search engines could read and use to categorize your site. But the real action is here. And this is what should be your homepage. I'm sorry, the other one's pretty, but it just blocks things. And it especially blocks the search engines that you're so concerned about. Next, for search engine optimization, you need to pick your keywords. Keywords for you are going to be something around wines, and maybe you're going to hit the Tasmanian thing really hard. I was thinking about this before I recorded the video. If you went after a keyword like wine, well, there's going to be tons of competition. Even a varietal like Chardonnay or a Cabernet Sauvignon or something like that, or Riesling, these different wines that you make, even those there's probably a lot of competition, but I'll bet you there's not a whole lot of competition for Tasmanian wine. I could be wrong. Maybe there's a huge vineyard industry there. Like I said, I haven't had the joy of visiting Tasmania yet, but Tasmanian wine might be your keyword, in which case that's the keyword, or whatever keyword you choose, that needs to be all over this page again and again and again. And here's why I say that, because what you've got here is welcome to Panorama Vineyard. No one is going to search on that. Then you've got, again, a warm welcome awaits you from the Vishaki family of Panorama Vineyard. Nobody's going to search on any of that. Or if they are, they already know who you are. They know you're Michael Vishaki. They know you run the Panorama Vineyard. Well, they could probably find the website without the search engine. With search engine optimization, you need to repeat the keywords again and again to tell Google and Yahoo and Bing what the site is about. So far, if a search engine crawler comes in, they have read this much, and it doesn't say anything about Tasmanian wines. In fact, it doesn't have the word wine at all. A family-owned, operated boutique-style vineyard, still no wine, still no Tasmania. A selection of elegant, oh, there it is finally, only once. Oh, there it is again, distinctive wine making. Anyway, I'm picking on your sales copy here, but that's the key to search engine optimization, on-site SEO, is about keywords. So Tasmanian wine or Panorama Vineyard. I wouldn't, Panorama Vineyard is your brand, so people aren't going to search for that unless they know you already. You need something distinctive. Think about what a person goes to Google and what they're going to be typing in if they're looking for the solution that you're providing. Something about good tasting wines, probably from Tasmania, or at least Australian, maybe Australian wine. That's a larger, much more traffic for that, because fewer people are going to even think to search for Tasmanian wine. So maybe Australian wine is what you want to hit. Something like this, premium estate wines, nobody searches for that. That's marketing talk, happy talk. That's not useful for search engine optimization. So figure out those keywords, look at your competitors, think about your market positioning, and really put some effort into repeating those keywords over and over again on the site. That is the first big step towards Panorama Vineyard's SEO success. Of course, later you'll want to get other sites to link back to you using those same keywords, and increasingly get people to share your website using those same keywords as well. But that's a whole other discussion. We can talk more about SEO. Say if you want to come and join clickmillionaires.com, we talk about this sort of stuff all the time in the forum, and I bet it could be really helpful to you. All right, moving along. So that's the strategic point of view. You need to fix that splash page so it stops blocking things. I'd reconsider the domain name. You need to obviously fix this webcam. That was the first thing I clicked on. I was like, oh, I've never been to Tasmania. I'd like to go and see it. And you had the good idea of putting a webcam on there. I was excited to go look. But as you pointed out in your email to me, it's not working. So yes, you need to fix that. I agree. So then you get into what's the business here? Okay, what's the business here? What are you going to try to accomplish? Well, you want to sell some wine. You also emailed me saying you would like to do consulting and some contract winemaking. Okay, well, if that's the case, then I think that's what you need. About Panorama probably is not the first thing in your navigation. It should probably be this one, or actually even this one that says online sales. Planting sales is more of a trade thing, so I guess that's something that would mean something to your business-to-business customers, but to me as a wine customer, I have no idea what that means. When I click on it, I can figure it out. You're selling grapevine cuttings and so forth. That's a very different market than people that are buying bottles of wine. So you might want to think about calling that something like business services, or the same with your consultants. That you have two different websites going on here, Michael. You've got online sales for retail, which you've got here. You've got your 2008 Riesling and Chardonnay and your Pinot. That rosé looks very tasty. And you're obviously, this is real wine. You're talking about $150 per 6 bottles, $200 for 6 bottles. This is expensive stuff and probably very tasty. Here, there's $180 each for your reserve Pinot. Very nice. I think you could dress this up and use a fancier design. I wouldn't be against that. But honestly, this is going to kind of get the job done. The big thing that's missing on these pages is a buy button. Like, how do I buy this? This is a fundamental mistake. You've got a cart. I guess what do? I pick the number of them, and then what? These must be cases, I guess. $25 each, or $156. So what? This is single bottle and this is case. It doesn't say that. There's no buy button. That's the big one. How do you get somebody to buy? Every one of these entries should end with buy this now, click here, and a big button that says put this in the cart and buy it again and again and again. That's really critical stuff. And as far as I can tell, maybe you've taken these offline because I know this site is a couple years out of date. Oh, it's all the way down here. Submit order. Michael, my friend, no way. No way. Start over. You need buy buttons on every one of those, and then Freight cost is a big thing. I was going to mention this. Here you go. Looks like you're just shipping. Okay, this is in Australia only, so maybe this is different than what I'd been thinking. If you're only trying to market in Australia, then your challenge is a little different, because that was one of my other questions. What currency are these in? You've got prices all over the site. Are they Australian dollars, US dollars? I'm not sure. Singapore dollars? You need to be clear about that. And if this is Australian only, that's fine, but you need to say it. And if that's the case, then maybe you don't need to change your URL either. If I would expect that shipping wine is very expensive, so maybe your market target is not the United States, in which case we have to backpedal on some of the things I said earlier. But if that's the case, then right on the home page, you need to say, we are an Australian winery. Like, so you're using some lingo. 43 deg latitude. Do you mean degree? How about spell that out? Craddock, southern Tasmania, just outside the town of Huonville, in Australia. In Australia. Welcome to the Panorama Vineyard website from Australia. You need to say that, because this is a worldwide thing, and you're going to start getting weird. If you do this SEO right, you're going to start getting inquiries from Ohio and France, and Russia. And if you're not clear about where you are, it's going to chew up a lot of your time in silly customer service hassle. One of the other things I wanted to point out is that typically the top navigation, the top image up here should link back to the home page. But you can see here I'm clicking, and this doesn't take me home. I had real trouble. I want to get back to that first page. This About Panorama page is very nice. All these pictures of you and your team and working. I mean, this is a very nice image. The barrels, I mean, anyone who's visited a winery would really dig this. So I like this section, but I don't think it belongs first, and I can't get back to the home page. The only way I figured out to do that is you have a home link. You can't even see it here in my video. It's down here, way in the footer. Home. Okay. This is your home page. Pull out all the stuff you have buried in here and put it on the home page. You might even want kind of like two big sections. Retail wine shoppers from Australia, buy here. Business customers, like if you want plantings or consultancy, go over here. You kind of need to make that more clear instead of trying to push them all together, because these things are going to confuse your visitors. Cellar door, what's back here? Oh, this is a map. Okay, I think you might put a map even on the homepage. This is cool. But what this doesn't do is say Tasmania is in the southern hemisphere as part of Australia. This is very confusing. A lot of people are going to look at this and then try to drive over to your place. And you have to be ready for a bigger market on the internet. All right, contact us. Now this is a key point. How about some pictures of you? You have your name here, which is great. I'd like to see a picture of you. You had nice pictures back over here. I presume this is you, Mr. Michael, and maybe this is Sharon. I don't know. Get these on the contact us. We want to make this personal. As you know, a lot of the sale for wine is about a relationship with the winemaker or a lovely dinner that you are tasting that you had at the vineyard. Really personalize this. Pull this out. And then here's the biggest points. You've got a request for feedback. That's fine, but it's pretty stiff and formal, but I guess okay. I'd put that on the Contact Us page, maybe, and then make all these buttons bigger, because this is fairly small font you're using here. But here's the big one. You have a newsletter, and it looks like a really nice newsletter here. And you've printed the old archives here, which is cool. But how about the sign up for this? This is my big point, and anybody that watches these reviews from expertwebsitereviews.com knows that you need to get that newsletter sign up there big on the home page. So back to the home page. This is what you've got. You've got to click here to see the December issue. But how about sign up? You need a big thing that says sign up here, give us your email address, and usually you have to give them an incentive. How about a 10% off your first case order, or an ebook of wonderful pictures from Tasmania, or whatever, some sort of incentive. That sort of thing I think would be really helpful for you. So all in all, Michael, I don't think that your problem is necessarily the template. I think you've got some really nice images. Your designer did a nice job. I like these shadowy hills, very pretty, appropriate, I guess, for your branding. You've got to get the functional stuff working, like the webcam, get the home link. It works on the home page, but nowhere else up here in the banner. This, I guess, you have here because this is some business that you merged with or something. If this is out of date, I'd get it out of there. It's kind of distracting unless you think it's valuable. I'd put this column to more use, the right column, and showcase a couple products. If you want to increase sales, the number one thing you need to do is get some of these guys out. This is actually the same page, isn't it? Look at that. Wine, ports, and liqueurs. Yeah, you've got two of those, and none of them have buy buttons. But pull these guys out and put them on the home page. That's the main thing that's missing from the home page, is more of this. How do I buy this? Showcase your 2 or 3 top, or you've got medals and stuff, by the way. Pump up those medals. This is great. Award-winning trophies, gold and silver. Let's see some pictures of that stuff. Make a big deal of that. And again, I'm sorry to beat this to death, but make a point of what is Tasmania and where is it? Australians know, but a lot of other people don't. I think that would narrow down your marketing, make it more efficient, and drive sales to your catalog. That's what you're really after. Buy buttons, my friend. Buy buttons and newsletter sign-up buttons, and that will help you a lot. I hope that's helpful to you, Michael. This is a beautiful wine website. I think it could be better, obviously, in a lot of ways. The changes I suggest also will help your search engine optimization. If you'd like more advice on this stuff, come on in to clickmillionaires.com. We talk about it all day in the forum. We'd be happy to develop this and all your online marketing strategies further. Thanks for ordering this expert website review from my site, expertwebsitereviews.com. I look forward to visiting you someday. Tasmania is on the list. I've spent quite a bit of time in Australia, but mostly up in Queensland and so forth. So I look forward to visiting you someday, Michael, at Panorama Vineyards in the real world, as well as here at panoramawines.com.au. Thanks for watching. I'm Scott Fox for clickmillionaires.com.